About to see the world in action, what we can be, life with no distractions, we'll get away, this is what we waited for. Take my hand, we'll make it somehow, we can't miss out. I'm done living life with the lights out, die with my own doubts. Be free with me. Let's go, let's be free with me.
Greetings, friends! It's hard to believe that 8 years ago is when I first started raising chickens. And I got our first flock before we even moved here onto this homestead. And I did so because I was so inspired to take our homesteading to the next level. We were doing what we could in the city with gardening, but we really felt restricted on what we wanted to do. We really wanted to expand, we wanted to do more, and we were so restricted in doing so. And one of those things that we were restricted on was raising chickens. The city ordinances were like, no chickens. So we were like, all right, no, we're out of here. We want to do more, we want to homestead more. So we started moving out here, but before we moved out here, I brought our first flock onto the property before we even set up our house, thinking, hey, I want to get this chicken thing going, I want to raise chickens, and you know what? If I bring chickens onto the property, it'll help motivate me to be here to get the things done so we can move here sooner. So I did that. Can't say that I necessarily recommend that, but hey, it worked. It got me here more often to make sure they had feed, make sure they had water, gather the eggs, and then I did other things around here to get this place going so we could move here. Fast forward a couple years now, and we're here to today, and through these years we've been raising chickens for eggs and for meat. We've also been raising ducks for eggs and meat, and recently we've been raising goats. We also raise cats and dogs and children too. Well, today we're adding to those numbers. We're going to be getting some chicks and ducklings. The chicks that we have coming are broiler birds, and we're going to be getting some Cornish crosses, some ginger broilers, some big red and black giants. And for ducks, we're getting some pecans. So let's go get them. All right, we're on our way to the post office to pick up our chicks and our ducklings. But before we did so, we had to pick up some feed. We typically get our feed at a local mill. A farmer down not too far from us grows a number of the different types of feeds that we need for our livestock. And we get our layer feed from there. We also get some scratch feed that we mix with our layers for our ducks. They also have broiler mixes there, as well as starter and grower. But there's also times where we'll get our starter and grower feed from Tractor Supply. And with their feed, I like to select the non-medicated feeds. I don't want any of my livestock, any of our animals being on any medications if we can help it, anything medicated or drugs or whatever. I like for them to just be strong and robust, and we're not propping them up. So try to get a really good start with them, helping to develop their bodies early on. In addition to that, you have to have some pine shavings, and I've used flakes in the past, but we really like to go with the fine. So we're just about there at the post office now that we have everything that we need, and we're picking up our chicks and ducklings. You excited about our chicks and ducklings, Micah?
Yep.
What are you most excited about? You wanted to hold them and look at them?
Yep.
What about you, Sailor, since you're here with us?
Probably holding and looking at them.
What do you like better, chicks or ducklings?
Ducklings.
It's kind of hard to choose. I like them both. The ducklings are cute, but so are the chicks. And we're also incubating eggs right now, so look forward to having those a little bit later on as well. And are there any other animals that you would like to have, or eggs you'd like to incubate to have some babies on the homestead?
Maybe some geese.
Maybe some geese? I think I would like some geese.
Or a swan.
Or swan? That would be neat if we had a swan on the pond. That would be pretty cool.
I like the white swans better.
I've also been wanting to do some guineas. What do you think about guineas? Oh, you're thinking about it. So no guineas. Is that hard of a question? Is it a yes or no?
I don't know. Some of them look ugly.
They look ugly. Raining now.
Yep.
Yep. Keeping them dry?
Yep.
All right. Pay attention. All buckled up? Got the chicks buckled up too? Keeping them safe back there between you guys?
Yep.
I'm not sure why, but we just got one of the 2 boxes that we had ordered. So I'm hoping they'll come later today or maybe tomorrow, the other box. This right here is just the chicks. And we still have some ducklings that are supposed to be here. So we'll just have to see. And they definitely left on the same day. And I was watching it on the phone and just keeping track of it. And they went through the different checkpoints. Same places, but slightly different times. So maybe that affected it just a little bit. So we'll just have to see. Hopefully those ducklings that are traveling are doing just fine. Something that a lot of people don't know is that with chicks and ducklings, before they hatch, they absorb the egg yolk from inside the egg into their bodies before they break through and come out and see the world. So, and that absorbing that into their bodies provides them with the sustenance that they need so they could go 2 to 3 days without eating or drinking anything. And I actually have heard a farmer friend of mine who his got lost in the mail for almost like 5 days. And then he said he got them and they were perfectly fine and ended up living well, eating, drinking, and living full age. So that's pretty neat. I'm not trying to press it that long, and hopefully it won't be that long with these ducklings that we're waiting on, but it just shows that they are pretty robust. So these were hatched and shipped on the same day, which was about 2 days ago now. So hopefully they'll be here later today, the ducklings will, or tomorrow. We'll just have to see. Let's get these home though.
Baby chicks.
Hi guys.
They're probably like, what is that big monster looking in here for? Ah! Well, this is box 1 of 2. I don't know where number 2 is. I have no idea. So hopefully they'll be contacting me later today or early tomorrow to pick them up, because they were on the same locations on the same day, but not exactly the same time. So maybe that threw off them. They're being delivered when these got delivered to our post office, but I don't know. So we'll just have to see.
Well, I hope we they find them soon.
Yeah. So the guy at the post office who was actually made a cameo appearance and when we picked up chicks, I don't know, maybe a year or two ago, I think it was about a year ago, commented that people had seen our video and had seen him on there and would say stuff to him at the post office. So that's pretty neat. But he actually was checking the records for the other box that were missing. He printed them out and I'm checking my phone, but we just have to wait and see. It's the best we can do right now. Well, I'm gonna let the chicks hang out with you guys in here while I go and set up their brooder. I usually, when we make trips out of town or into town, we usually try to group everything together to maximize the time of leaving here. So I figured we'd get the stuff we need, pick up the chicks at the same time. So I'm gonna go prepare my place.
Hey little guys. Hey girls. Try to jump.
Here, dip its beak in. Okay, got it.
Mama, let me put one in. I'm gonna do it.
Okay.
They're not. Wow, little baby.
What's wrong?
A baby thing in the water. Go back it out. Move down.
They will. What's your favorite part about having chicks?
When they're little.
Why do you like them when they're little?
Because they're cute.
What are you doing, Coco? Do you smell the babies? Smell the babies?
All right, the brooder is ready for the chicks.
Well, I think the chicks are ready for the brooder.
Let's go. So after we loaded the chicks into the brooder, I got to looking at the box that they came in, and it said 1 of 2 of this order. And I got to thinking, well, where's the other one? I know the box that's coming tomorrow is the ducklings, but where's the rest of the chicks? So it was getting to me. So I called the post office. I tried calling the post office, and each time I called, I got a busy signal. Called once, busy signal. Another time, busy signal. Another time, busy signal. I'm like, man. Because when we were there, I heard other chicks chirping in the background. I'm like, what if those are our chicks and he just accidentally looked at it wrong and they're just back there just calling for me. Pick us up, pick us up. So after not getting an answer I'm calling the post office. I was like, I gotta go back there and see where our other chicks are. So headed back to the post office, talked to the guys, really nice, and he was like, each box has its own tracking number. And that was, I think I was getting confused there because you have the order number and then you have the tracking number. So I was getting confused with, there's 2 different sets of numbers. So he was like, just call the hatchery and see where the problem is. So I called McMurray Hatchery, and I'm gonna say the company is an excellent company. And even talking with them on the phone, the lady was super nice. And she was like, well, you have the order that you picked up today of chicks, and then you have chicks that are coming tomorrow, and then you have ducklings that are coming in the beginning of April. And I was like, oh, ducklings are coming in April? I thought they were coming this week. So the chicks that are coming, the order that's coming tomorrow, that's chicks. That's the rest of the order that I'm looking for. And ducklings are coming next month. Wow. I'm sorry. I am so sorry. This is my fault, my misunderstanding. I completely forgot that the chicks and the ducklings are coming separately at separate times. So that solved my whole confusion, and it just ends all the worry that I had. It was totally my fault. So thankfully, there's no chicks sitting anywhere chirping and waiting on me. Those were delivered actually this morning. I went to go pick them up with Josiah, brought them to their new home in the brooder, put them in with the rest of the chicks, and they've been doing great. We did lose 2, so that does happen, and that's one of the things of being on a homestead and of life. There's life, and then there's death. Sometimes death comes earlier than it should, but it just happens. Some of the things we have to deal with. But I'm so glad that we have the missing chicks and that it was all just my fault. Whew. Like I said, Murray McMurray is a great company. Highly recommend them. And if you want to get some chicks, some ducklings, or whatever from them, check out their link in the show notes below. And make sure you stay tuned to see how these chicks go and their process of growing and developing and living life here on my homestead. I also had someone mention to me that I should do a video on just getting started with layer chickens, from raising them as chicks and what all you need and what you need as they grow and mature. So if that's a video you may be interested in, let me know in the comment section below. Well, I'm sure Sayla's outside in the building at the brooder with the chicks, playing with them. She just enjoys it. She just really has a good time with playing with them. And I'm glad that we are able to provide her with that experience. It's so good for kids. So maybe consider getting you a flock of chicks or ducklings for you and your children. See you next time.